Well, unfortunately, the streak is over already, but it was well deserved as this was definitely a wake up call. In this video, we'll talk about what caused this red day and how we're going to approach the future. Now, not all red days are avoidable. There'll be times where you do exactly what you're supposed to do, everything right, but you still get no follow through. Fortunately, today's not one of those days. Today's losses could have been avoidable. So let's get into my trades. Now, my first trade on this, I entered right here at 44.05. And we didn't get the move that we wanted. But I maintained discipline and stopped the low of day. Alright? Then I re-entered at the first 5-minute candle to make a new high again, and we got a good move. So this point of the day, I'm basically break even, and I'm really looking for another trade. Now, instead of shifting my focus onto another stock, I continued to trade this stock. This was my first mistake. I was looking to short this to get a move back down, even though it still had strength. And at the time I knew this, it still had strength, but there was a possibility that I can scalp a few cents to make a quick profit. And after doing this, I failed, of course. I tried once, I got a little bit, tried twice, and it didn't follow through. So I'm back red on this trade, and the emotions are really starting to pour in. At this time, I should really turn off my platform. Instead, I go look on the scanners and this stock pops up, TNDM. So at this time, I'm really looking forward to making back my profit from what I lost on that last trade. Really isn't the best motive when going into trading. It's very toxic, and I was actually aware of this, but I really wanted to make back that profit that I lost on the first trade. And like I said before, I shouldn't have been trading right now during this part of the day. So on this stock, really, what captured my eyes was the volatility. It was putting in wide ranges, as you can see, from $35 all the way up to $42. You know, that's a lot. That's a lot of points that's working in there. I was looking to get in on a reversal here. I labeled out my supports as usual. This green line is a trend line. And I was looking for the 5-minute to make a new high, but I didn't really like it for long because I seen all this resistance above and it didn't really go down to my marker. I usually like to see it go down to my marker. So I was short biased on this trade. The opposite way the trade went, right? So I looked to get short. I was supposed to short on the first 5-minute to make a new low. Now, if I followed those rules, I wouldn't have entered at all, but I seen the volatility and actually I jumped in for a quick scalp long ways and we got a move, so I'm up, you know, and then I'm still greedy, so I jump in again looking for a short, trying to anticipate the short, and it went up. I held, it went up, continued, and what was going through my mind was, no way, this stock is so strong right now, this has to turn around. So I held my short, and that's the reason I held my short, and it continued to go long, and I stopped out. Fortunately, I didn't take a lot of shares. It had a restriction on it. My broker had a restriction on the amount of shares I could take, so that really prevented a large loss on this trade, luckily. But it wasn't too bad of a loss. What really got me was the lack of discipline. It was a completely avoidable trade. After this trade, I shut down my platform and I really got mindful and conscious, like what am I really doing? This is not what makes a profitable trader. Alright, so the lack of control and discipline was a result of greed for that immediate profit. I wanted to gain back those profit. But of course, that formula resulted in immediate loss, the opposite of what I wanted. I was aware what I was doing at the moment. I felt like losing wasn't really a big cost, right? It was insignificant, but in hindsight, of course, I realized that, you know, it was not worth the trade. It was definitely not a profitable trade or disciplined. It wasn't aligned with my rules that I have and guidelines that makes me a profitable trader. I sacrificed more than just capital. I sacrificed the strength in my ability to trade profitably, right? So the real loss came from a series of bad trades. So I'm gonna set a rule in place that might help prevent future losses. So this new rule, I have it written in front of me in my notes. That's there with me every day when I trade and I go through it. This new rule states that when I take a bad trade, brackets undisciplined and lacking control, I'll no longer trade for the day. Now all that's required is for me to follow it, right? And to be conscious enough that when that that situation is present, that I can follow through on the rule that I created. It's not guaranteed, but it is a actionable step that I can try to prevent that future loss. Well, that's all I have for you guys. Hopefully you could take some of this information and really apply it to your trading to prevent some of these red days or really buffer up your trading rules. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below if you have any questions or requests for future videos.